WH just revealed where Trump's second quarter salary is going, and it's any place but expected. White House Press Secretary Sara Huckabee Sanders announced Wednesday that President Donald Trump would be donating his second quarter salary to the Department of Education. Sanders noted that Trump's first quarter salary, or roughly $78,000, went toward 2 restoration projects at Antietam National Battlefield. This quarter, the president chose to invest in education. Sanders went on to present Education Secretary Betsy DeVos with a $100,000 check from President Trump to the DOE. "I want to start by saying how grateful I am to the president for this generous gift," DeVos said. "The president is committed to our nation's students and to reforming education in America so that every child, no matter their zip code, has access to a high-quality education." During his presidential campaign, Trump promised not to take any of his taxpayer-funded salary while in the White House. What do you think about this? Comment below. Breaking witness to major Hillary schemes just agreed to testify. The web of lies Hillary Clinton wove so carefully is finally unraveling. Thanks to the focus President Trump has put on the Clintons' wrongdoings, the Senate is investigating the criminal relationship between Clinton and the anti-American firm, Fusion GPS. This is the company that put out the fake Trump dossier. They also have ties to the Russian lawyer who met with Donald Jr. Now, the head of Fusion GPS has agreed to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Their crimes will be exposed. This absurd Russia investigation has gone on long enough. The American people are sick of the sideshow because we know that Trump has not colluded with the Russian government on anything. However, the investigation into Trump has served to highlight the real criminal acts of the Clintons. It all comes back to Fusion GPS. The Washington, D.C.-based opposition research firm has been on the Democrat payroll for years. Remember the debunked dossier? It alleged that Trump was surrounded by prostitutes as he urinated on a bed Obama had slept in at a Russian hotel. That ridiculous story destroyed the credibility of the website BuzzFeed and was the product of Fusion GPS. The project was originally paid for by anti-Trump rhinos and later taken over by the DNC. Interestingly, the source of the dossier was former MI6 agent Christopher Steele, yet Democrats are never accused of British collusion. Isn't it funny how those leftist double standards work? Fusion GPS is one of the most corrupt organizations in politics, and one doing the Democrat Party's bidding. It's a huge step in the right direction for the Senate Judiciary Committee to call their head, Glenn Simpson, to testify. Simpson originally rejected a Senate request to provide information voluntarily and stated he would invoke the Fifth Amendment at a public hearing. In response, the Senate issued a subpoena obligating him to appear and talk. Simpson ultimately reached a deal with the Senate to voluntarily speak at a hearing in exchange for having the subpoena withdrawn. The Senate should do their job and squeeze a confession of wrongdoing from him. There's hope they'll be tough. The chairman of the Judiciary Committee is Senator Chuck Grassley, REA, who has been a major critic of Fusion GPS. The opposition research firm has come under renewed scrutiny following the much-talked-about meeting between Donald Jr. and a Russian lawyer who claimed to have dirt on Hillary Clinton. The lawyer, Natalia Veselnitskaya, has professional ties to Fusion GPS. As Attorney General, Loretta Lynch used this professional connection to allow Veselnitskaya into the U.S. without a visa. All signs point to a set-up a plot between Clinton, Veselnitskaya, and Fusion GPS to frame the Trump team. Even back then, they had this Russian collusion narrative in the works to delegitimize Trump. The charade is over. The tables are turned. We're getting to the bottom of this detestable plot to hurt our president. Hillary Clinton and her cohorts in Washington are going down. It's high time to put her behind bars. Lock her up. NYPD have great strategy to bypass Mayor Bill de Blasio. These past years, the liberals of America have criticized all police officers based on the actions and mistakes of few. Only in New York City, the police are denigrated by their own government. Mayor Bill de Blasio treated the police department with no respect, and now the NYPD will no longer tolerate that. The Patrolmen's Benevolent Association aiming many city council races, hoping that they will shift 51 members away from its leftist tendencies. They are going to endorse many nominees for city council. We need to have a city council that will speak up, defend New York City police officers, and dig into the issues so that they understand them, Patrick Lynch, president of the PBA, stated. We also need them to stand up to the Blasio administration and speak up on behalf of police officers as allies, Lynch continued. There is no way of knowing if this campaign will be successful, but it demonstrates how determined the PBA is. We've changed the city, we're keeping the city in good shape, and then we don't get the support that we need, Lynch stated. De Blasio is running for re-election and it's expected to win because there isn't a stronger opponent against him in the race. The PBA has a strong political influence in New York City, so there is a hope that it can help in these city council races and will reduce the power of de Blasio in his attacks against the police. Please share this post on Facebook if you support PBA. What is your opinion on this? Scroll down to comment below. Anthony Scaramucci made the reporter who accused Sara Huckabee apologize. Anthony Scaramucci is the kind of person that doesn't take crap from anyone, and now when one rude reporter insulted Sara Huckabee Sanders by calling her a butch queen in drag, Scaramucci taught him a lesson that he won't forget anytime soon. Madison Hill, Daily Beast gay rights advocate reporter, tweeted a picture of the new press secretary Sara Huckabee with a caption, "Butch queen first time in drags at the ball." With this comment, he was suggesting that Sanders is a drag queen. And it is important to be noted that this isn't his first time of offending someone like this. Madison also attacked Jeff Sessions when he heard that Sessions' granddaughter is an Asian. He tweeted Sessions, "Sir, kindly return this Asian baby from the Toys R Us you stole her from," along with a photograph of him holding his granddaughter in his lap. Scaramucci gave few days to see if the mainstream media would do something to show him that these kinds of attacks are not acceptable, but as expected no outlet like CNN, MSNBC, CBS, or ABC reported on this. Daily Wire reported, the fact that a journalist who works for a major online publication attacked a sitting press secretary in such a demeaning and public way is of course news. And yet a good faith look through the Google machine shows that not a single mainstream media outlet picked this story up. Not one. After this Scaramucci respectfully wrote on Twitter that Madison has to apologize to Sara Huckabee, and a few hours later Madison did apologize to Sanders. This is his first apology ever. Even though we don't know Scaramucci's behind-the-scenes message, it surely was powerful since Madison wrote this. Scaramucci taught Madison and the rest of the liberal press that these kinds of attack are not acceptable and will not be tolerated. Scaramucci also fired one of the leakers, Michael Schwartz, from the White House Communications Office. Anthony Scaramucci is not a person you can play with. After CNN reported a fake story about him, Scaramucci and his attorneys scared CNN that they withdraw the story instantly. Please share this post on Facebook if you support Anthony Scaramucci. What is your opinion on this? Scroll down to comment below. Brat mouths off to Border Patrol, put in her place as he pulls surprise from vest. Here's a lesson for every liberal loudmouth out there: don't start a debate with U.S. Border Patrol if you don't know what you're talking about. A woman tried to tell U.S. Border Patrol agents that they didn't have the authority to stop her and ask her questions. So, one Border Patrol officer pulled out a list of laws and court decisions which gave him the authority to do so. This woman could have taken 2 seconds to search the internet for the relevant law, realized she was wrong, and cooperated with the officers. Instead, she took the time to blow one simple question into an enormous snowflake tirade. The woman wasn't even angry about what the officers were doing to her. She was outraged about the stories she's heard from teacher friends about discrimination against their kids with brown skin. I doubt those stories are even true. This woman still thinks she's a hero. She had her child record her interaction with U.S. Border Patrol, which lasted over a half hour. She then uploaded 5 videos of it to Facebook. The willpower of these border agents is impressive. They remained polite even as the woman called them Nazi brown shirts, a military wing Hitler used to enforce his barbaric laws on German citizens. It is illogical to compare border agents asking one question, to a military wing that brutalized people. This woman is out of her mind. The two initial border agents walked away calmly, probably hoping the woman would cool off and admit her citizenship status. But, she didn't, and they called in their supervisor. Two more U.S. Border Patrol officers can also be seen trying to reason with the woman. Eventually, she was released. The last video is no longer functioning, so who knows how this encounter ended. Perhaps the woman finally realized how ridiculous she looked and tried to take the videos down. The border agents even took the time to pass along some wisdom. One agent made the point that you don't argue with the Walmart stocker about the price of paper towels, you talk to the manager and those higher up on the chain. In this case, there are a few lawmakers this woman could petition if she felt as though U.S. Border Patrol stops away from the border are so wrong. In the meantime, the U.S. Border Patrol will go on doing their job humbly of protecting us all, including this woman. Just in California officially begins secession process, what's your response? California is one of the most dysfunctional places to live in America. Their residents have now decided that they don't even want to be part of the United States anymore. According to the Sacramento Bee, California is currently putting a ballot measure through that would help allow them to secede from the Union. They need 585,000 signatures to get it considered, and they are working hard to achieve that goal. There is something seriously wrong with Californians. The Golden State is working on this move for no apparent reason. We know that they hate President Trump with a fiery passion, and they don't even have sensible reasons for hating him so much. If we had to guess, we would say it would have to do with their leftist representation, such as Reps. Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters. These two people alone preach pure hatred. We find it odd that Waters can be so upset when she is a millionaire and living in a $4 million home. Despite being rich beyond the average person's wildest dreams, Waters still believes that she is a poor, oppressed black woman. It is unbelievable how hard she pushes the victim complex. The left has this mentality that they are morally superior to everyone, and if you disagree with them, you are probably a racist, bigot, or a white male. We cannot wrap our minds around their thought process. Our nation used to have civil debates where people discussed ideas. We were free thinkers, and people tried to understand other people's thoughts, even if they didn't agree with them. Now, California is having none of that, and the people there are seeking the ultimate safe space, their own country. How intolerant do you have to be to want to be your own independent country because other people don't think the way you do? There is no pleasing the left. They don't want to work together in unison, they want full superiority. If they don't have complete control, they accuse and blame people, branding them with hateful labels. It's pathetic. Let's not forget, the people in California love trampling on our freedom of speech. Remember at UCLA Berkeley when Milo Yiannopoulos was prevented from speaking due to rioters? They did the same thing to Ann Coulter, Gavin McInnes, and they are trying to stop Ben Shapiro from speaking on September 14, 2017. The close-minded people in California are going to pay for their reckless behavior. There is going to come a time when they are overrun by illegal immigrants, broke, and clueless on what to do next. It is going to be one of those brilliant, "we told you so" moments. Even after all of that happens, they are still not going to listen. What do you think about this? Comment below.